One of the natural gifts to a woman is her hair. It is a feature that symbolizes feminism. However, natural African hair is being sidelined for synthetic hair brands as a true definition of beauty. Tonight on the show, I'm joined by a young entrepreneur who will help you embrace your natural hair. Welcome to the NTV STYLE Project. I am your host, Bettina. Tonight on the show, we talk about natural hair, how to embrace it, and so much that goes with that. So if you are somebody that loves natural hair, or if you are a beautician or you work at a salon, this is definitely the show for you. Now, to do that with me is a young, beautiful, talented doctor in the making. She will introduce herself.
My name is Elizabeth Nachinji, and I am a young entrepreneur. And I have recently ventured into the natural hair industry. I am a huge natural hair enthusiast.
What has been your inspiration, or was this something that just came out of you? Tell us more about that.
Okay, so I have always liked natural hair, just that I couldn't actually go natural. I had my hair relaxed up until 2017. But when I saw my friend's hair, she used to have really short cut hair in school, and then suddenly her hair really grew out so long. And I thought, okay, you know what, I am a scientist. Let me look into the science of how this hair works and how the products work, and I take the guesswork out of the equation to be able to grow my hair. So once I was able to deal with the normal hair problems I had, the browning, the hair staying at the same length, then I really went into that.
Lisa, tell us about the history of natural hair in Uganda, in your own understanding.
We used to have some of the longest hair in the world. So some people look at our natural hair, which is the Kaweke hair, and they say it's the worst hair type, but it isn't really the worst hair type. There's no good or bad hair type, it's just the way you take care of it. So that Kaweke hair used to be some of the longest hair in the world. And people do not know this, but wigs and braids actually started from Africa, but they were not made for the purpose that we're using it today, which is to hide our actual hair instead of embracing our hair and only using the wigs and braids when you really need a break from your hair, but not because you feel you have to. So we started with really, really long hair, and it would be a point of socializing with people in different communities. So you'd go over to your neighbors or do your hair as you talk about different things going on in your life. And when we had that period of slavery, people used to hide rice inside their hair in order to avoid starvation. During the migratory periods, because they would shift from one area to another, they would still hide seeds inside their hair for easy transportation. When you get to a new place, you just start planting. They would use different hairstyles to show what tribe you belong to, what family you came from, who you were married to even. So the royals would have different hairstyles, and depending on your class, your age, everything could be identified by just looking at your hair. So it was a very, very important symbol in the African society back in those days. But then when we had the colonialist period coming in, people moved over shores, and because of all that was going on at that time, we lost the skills that we used to pass down generations of how to take care of the hair. So before, those skills would be passed on generation to generation from basically the very elderly all the way to the young, and so you would know which herbs work best for your hair, how to apply them, how often, how do you style your hair, and they came up with some really, really creative styles actually.
Now, I'm really happy we're having this conversation, because for me, I feel like a lot of Ugandans do not embrace natural hair. What's your take on that?
I don't think we're yet at the point of embracing natural hair, because we can see from the way we join schools when they tell you to cut off your hair, or in a workplace and they tell you, are you really going to keep coming in looking like that every day? Or a function comes up and they're like, are you not going to braid your hair or put on a wig to cover that up? So it's like we don't expect that we can move around with our hair in any setting, party, office, anything at all. So I don't really think we're there yet. Yeah.
Because there is this mentality in, I went to a private school, and they always say you have to cut off your hair because it's going to eat into the learning time.
Natural hair does take time to care for, but I mean, look at me. I read, I don't know how many hours a day.
She is a future doctor. So it really does not make sense. Now, Lisa, mind telling us about hair care? Now, this is something very important. A lot of people may say natural hair is very difficult to care for.
Okay, I think it's not really difficult to care for, it's just that we didn't know what to do with it. So you just have your hair and you have absolutely no idea what to do, which is why you would be tempted to either relax it or get it braided or, you know, wigs put in. So for hair care, the most important thing to know first of all is that our natural hair loves water. Like, it loves water. It increases its elasticity and it makes it so much easier to work with. So the very first thing you must always have in your routine is water. So people would ask me, like, why am I not making a leave-in conditioner? But a leave-in conditioner is just packaged water. And I tell people you can find water in your tap. I'm going to give you the other products you can't find at your tap and teach you how to use them and the science behind them. Because with natural hair, as long as you can keep water inside it, stop overly manipulating it, especially with combs. There's a saying I tell people that if you pluck out one hair before it's ready to come out on its own, it will take 180 days for another hair to be produced in its place.
Wow, that's a long time.
Half a year, exactly. So people would be wondering, like, my hair is not growing, but every time you go, you're combing it out and then you throw on the floor. So there is definitely a lot. I may not be able to go into it step by step, but as long as you start with putting water in, keeping water in, reduce manipulation, and then just stay away from bad products.
When you talk about reduced manipulation, another thing I would also love to highlight is if you really want to love on your natural hair, please avoid heat. Avoid the heats going onto your hair. If you do that, it's definitely going to grow out and thicken and have that beautiful look. If you can avoid heat as much as you can, do it. At least do the air dry, sit outside, sit outside and have that naturally, you know, dry out.
Wait, actually, on that point.
Actually, I want to hear the actually part of it. Go on.
Air drying is not so much different from drying with heat. Heat and air drying, they're both evaporative methods of drying your hair. So really, you're not doing any difference. Heat dries your hair too quickly, which is what damages your hair. Then air drying dries it too slowly, which also damages your hair.
So what is the best way? Okay, I'm learning something new. What is the best way to dry your hair?
So now, rather than evaporative methods, you need to use an absorptive method. So you need to use a cloth, dry, an old cotton t-shirt can work because the normal towels we use in salons are actually too drying for your hair as well. So you either use an old cotton t-shirt or a microfiber towel because those remove water molecules really slowly. So we have a wet to dry baseline for each person's hair that you really need to maintain.
Wait, this is something new. At least I know heat is bad. This is something new that I have learned. Okay, let's get into the products. Let's get into the fun bit of it. So yeah, you're making products. Tell us about that.
Okay, so my products are based on an Ayurvedic hair care system, basically.
Say that again?
Ayurvedic. So Ayurveda is a traditional Indian medicine system, the way we have herbal medicine also in Uganda. So they also have their herbal medicine, which is called Ayurveda. So it bases on the principles that in order for you to have basically good hair, everything in your body has to be in balance. You need to be eating well, sleeping well, de-stress, and then in addition to using good products for your hair. Yeah, basically it's based on that Ayurveda system, and all the products have that herbal component. So it boosts the hair growth, it will thicken hair, lengthen hair, and help with hair that is browning or prematurely graying.
Aside from what you have, what are some of those good hair products? Like you mentioned, there isn't one, but there's some products out there that are actually good that our viewers out there should know about.
I personally recommend that you look for 100% because you can almost never go wrong with something that's organic 100%, has only natural ingredients in its list.
This smells so edible. Lisa says all the ingredients in here are edible. Now that's how you know a product is 100% organic. I want to try this. I want to try this actually. I want to try this. Why do you think African women or Ugandan women are really not embracing natural hair in your own understanding?
Lack of knowledge on how to style, they really get stranded with styling, the products to use, how do they select that, how can they take care of it, how do they make sure it comes out looking presentable and is actually growing. And then of course I've had this comment of pain. Like I said before, our natural hair loves water. So once you add water to it, almost all your natural hair problems will cease. But then also the type of comb you're using will have to matter. Yeah, so you need to look at how to comb and how often to comb, and then make sure that every time you're combing, you have you have to have water in it. So all these products that they sell, the detanglers on market, it's basically
they're all
water.
water-based.
Yes.
what natural celebrity do you look out for when it comes to maybe styling or even the way they love their natural hair?
Okay, I know for the international celebrities, we can have, I guess, like Lupita Nyong'o, because she has really embraced the hair, because going out to like red carpets and she has her hair out all over the US, it shows that she's proud of her hair to a certain extent. If we look more locally, know that almost everyone in the first family has natural hair. And we also have other natural hair influencers in Uganda.
Yes,
so
we actually have had Lynn from Satisfaction. Shout out to Lynn. She's also a natural hair enthusiast. I love that. I feel like for a girl to have natural hair, she must be very confident. And because, I mean, we're in a society that thinks having the fake whatever is beauty. And here we are saying, no, even this is beautiful. So shout outs to all those women out there who are embracing the natural hair and everything that goes with it. Yeah?
Yes, definitely.
But let's go for a quick breather. When we come back, more for you. Let's talk about the products that you make and what they do.
So over here we have, actually we'll start from the beginning of the line.
Okay.
So this is our shampoo. It's just it's an organic powdered shampoo. So all you have to do is get a few spoons of this, add some more water, mix, then let it sit, filter, use.
Okay, this is my first time hearing about a powdered shampoo.
It's basically a dried root.
It's a dried root.
Yeah, get a root dried, powder it. The root is a natural soap.
Okay, cool. So we're going step by step. First thing is washing with a shampoo. Next step.
You can actually do it either way. Sometimes I usually start with the treatment, then I do the shampoo.
How does treatment help with hair, a natural hair?
Okay, so this particular treatment is for its benefits, is why I put it in. It's for boosting the growth, strengthening the hair, and darkening it naturally.
Nice.
Yeah, by allowing your natural melanin pigments to work. So it removes any stressors in your hair that turn the hair into a different color.
That is your procedure of how you get your hair clean. What would you recommend for somebody that has short hair like me?
Okay, so for these particular products, you can use them either way. It will be according to your own preference. Because typically in the salon, they usually shampoo first and then they put in the conditioner. But this is because the way the manufacturers put in those ingredients in the shampoo is usually a bit more alkaline than the conditioner, and your hair likes acidic things. So you have to end with something acidic.
I love that. So after we're done with that, what next?
Okay, so usually when I'm done with the treatment, I like to start with the scalp oil now first. So
scalp
your
oil.
hair is still wet, you use your either dry cotton t-shirt. You can use two of them. One first takes out the excess water, then another one, wrap it around your head. And the way you need to dry your hair is just by patting. Don't rub all that friction. Yeah. And you need to be washing the hair while it's in sections, always, unless it's still too short to make sections. Otherwise it gets tangled, and then you're going to have to go through like the detangling process. And that's what I keep saying, the best way to detangle is to keep your hair from getting tangled in the first place. So I'll put in the scalp oil, just massage it into the scalp, to give boost that blood flow to your scalp. That will help you also boost growth. Then can go in with the hair oil. Again, it's for boosting thickness and length. People who have high porosity hair.
Okay.
Okay, use the oil usually. And then the ones who have low porosity would need a butter too.
So what do those terms mean?
Okay, so porosity, its most basic sense would be how easily it takes in products.
Okay.
Yeah, so low porosity means it does not take in products well. Yeah, they just stay on top of your hair.
How do you know you have high porosity hair or low porosity hair?
So we have porosity tests.
Okay.
Yeah, they are not exactly 100% foolproof, but they will give you a general idea of where you would fall. And you can also be able to tell, because I tell people you need to be spending more time with your hair in order to learn how it works. So you'll start realizing that, you know what, my hair likes lighter oils rather than thicker butters.
Lisa, since you're a medical student, I'm sure you're the right person to ask this question, yeah? What's your take and what is your view about the science of natural hair, especially towards Black women, and how we can demystify it?
When most people ask me about the science of hair, what they're really looking for is usually the genetics part. Like, if I wasn't born with hair, can my hair grow as long as so-and-so whose hair seems to sprout naturally? And something I like to say is that genetics plays a very small role in hair care. It's actually like less than 25%. 75% is about your lifestyle. So you'll find coincidental things about those people whose hair seems to grow on its own. Chances are they don't manipulate it as much. Like they keep it in a style for quite a while, then do their treatments, put it back into a style. And then you'll find that some of them actually have a really good diet or exercise well. You might find that for your hair is not growing because of like some nutrient deficiencies. So it's a very big question to unpack. But what I would like to tell most people is that your hair can go to almost whatever length you want it to go to as long as you put in the work.
So you have to put in the work, guys. And we are happy to be having Lisa on the show tonight because she'll be showing us how to actually use these amazing products that have really helped her hair length. If you are suffering with hair length and all those other problems, you are welcome.
Right, so this is my model for today. We have a male model because we have these products both available for both women and men and also for different ages. So we'll be using the scalp oil and the beard oil today. Okay, so whenever you're working with your natural hair, you want to start off with some water because your hair loves water. I can't repeat that enough. So you just spray some water. So this is our scalp oil, which looks like that inside. So this is going to be going directly to the scalp, but given that he has short hair, we can apply it to the hair as well. So if you start noticing that your hair is starting to miss in different places or you have a receding hairline, this will be the perfect oil for you. So what you have to do is just regularly massage it into the scalp. Recommend like every 2 to 3 days. Yeah, regularly massage it. This will increase, it will boost the blood flow to your scalp. So now is when you can go through with your comb. You want to be using a comb that has wider teeth. We have different types of instruments you can use for natural hair based on the curl pattern of your hair, and you'll be able to see what works best and does not cause as much damage. Okay, so now that the hair is detangled, you can now just go in and style as you wish to. If your hair is long enough, you can put it into twists, or you can do one of these sponge styles where it can come out looking like mini dreads, depending on your preference. This is the beard oil. So how it works is it helps people like these with a beard that has spaces, basically. So it would boost growth in those areas so that your beard can become full and fill out any of the gaps that you have. You just squeeze and pull out. You don't need to use a lot of oil for it. So once you've massaged it into the beard and you feel it has saturated, feel free to wipe off any extra oil around the skin.
Well, I hope that demonstration was educative and I hope you learned a thing or two. But before we get into the last bit of the show, Lisa, mind telling us about hair breakage? This is something that a lot of people are suffering from. How do you manage it and what's your advice when it comes to that topic?
Okay, so first I want people to know that the most important thing for your hair is actually your ends. So in order for your hair to grow long, your ends should stay on top of your head for at least like 6 years to have significant length. Yeah, so you need to also know the difference between breakage and shedding. Okay. So broken hair is usually shorter and it's shorter than your actual hair, and it breaks like halfway the length of the hair. So it's due to external factors, how hard you're pulling the hair, how tight your styles are, how dry your hair is when you start working on it. Like I said, water increases flexibility. So if it's not flexible, it's like dry spaghetti. So it just snaps as soon as you tap it. But if it's shedding, that you're losing hair all the way from your scalp, this hair is usually long. It sometimes has a white bulb at the end. So this is usually due to internal factors. It can also be due to external, like your scalp is too crowded, you're not keeping it clean, or you're using too many products on your scalp, or things that are not penetrating your scalp well. So if it's one of those, then you need to sort that out. And if it's an internal factor, it's usually stress that causes it. Stress or diet.
What are the Instagram handles or Facebook, social media, and all that, website?
The handles are Zamuri Hair Essentials Limited for Facebook and Instagram. Follow us and send us a message in case you like any of the products, and you can ask us how they work. We'll be able to respond to you as soon as we can.
Sounds nice, sounds nice. Well guys, that's all the time we had this Friday. Definitely see you next week. Same place, same time. Keep it fashionable. Make sure you put on your masks. Stay safe. I'll see you next week. Good night.